That's
But yeah, but
that's how this bracket works out for sure. All right.
yeah,
Game 1. Splat Zones at Mahi Mahi. That E-Leader, the scoped variant's coming right back out to the surprise of nobody. There's the pin. And oh, by the way, the Missile Pro is going to be used as well. Back in the day, if you didn't like a charger on the other team, you would just spam missiles at them all day long until they dropped the charger. This time around, you can't spam missiles because that got patched out, but you can still be very annoying with it.
I mean, speaking of missiles, there we are right there, getting an early missile. 2 members down. Adley forced to back away with Kirby in the back. Gonna get a lot of damage off. No picks just yet, forcing them to back away. Kirby gonna go down eventually here, and crushing 20s just foot on the gas almost immediately here. You see they have the strikes at the ready as well, so they can stop any attempted pushes from Let That Sink In almost immediately here. You see Larry does have the Zipcaster. They're going over straight towards that crab. A lot of damage, but Ton shutting it down single-handedly. Great job. Shout out to them. And they are still going, by the way. 40 points on the board. Kirby at 1 in zone. 2 members down for crushing 20s. 3 members down. It's just a pen. And Let That Sink In. Now they have a very big deficit to climb themselves out of.
The purpose of using specials is to displace the enemy team. It's not so much to get splats. If you get splats on top of it, great. So that Zipcaster didn't really do anything damage-wise, but it did at least make the crab roll up and did at least make a couple of players take cover for a bit, and that opened up the door for the rest of Let That Sink In to swarm into the zone, cap it back. And they might be able to create a bit of a lockout situation here because they got another Zipcaster ready to go.
Yeah, they have it. You see Larry just waiting, biding their time. 2 down for crushing 20s, looking for that third. The popping is Zipcaster to force members back, getting shut down once again, but giving Adley enough time to get that snipe. Strikes coming out, but no follow-up as well. You see the members all kind of funneling in toward that left-hand side. Adley, nice pick onto one. Tao going to go down to the tab shots. Adley keeping their team in it. Ton Warrior popping the strikes, kind of forcing this last fight. Able to flip the zone for now here. You see Let That Sink In, not going away just yet. Ton being damaged, forced to back away for it now. Going through zone is going to be Nathan and Ton going straight for Adley here. No picks coming out just yet until they're going to go down right there. And now Let That Sink In. They're still in mid. They're still fighting. They're still trying to find another way in. Tao getting a nice trade out as well. And it's been a lot of fighting. A lot of back and forth, I will say.
Like what we've seen out of Splat Kirby holding down that space and keeping their E-Leader players safe, knowing that people are going to be finding those angles to try to get up and attack them, knowing that they got to get to protect and get an easy splat on top of it. The problem is crushing 20s has complete control of the zone. The penalty points are gone. Eventually, you're going to have to just funnel in here. It just comes down to these strikes or Zukas to make something happen.
Oh,
and
no.
now can Splat Kirby 1 versus the world. The world wins every single time. I did not change the scores the entire time of that one, or the colors.
No, I mean, you're fine.
Well, who's this? Crushing 20s, they win. They're the perfect
Yeah, they
team
win.
this time around.
Yeah,
Update the team colors, says the chat. My bad.
You're fine. Listen, everyone makes mistakes.
Well, not crushing 20s. They didn't make any mistakes that time around. I mean, they came out to the early lead. They got the missiles to start off with to run things in, to chase everybody out of the zone, get control of things, and then was able to weather the storm, get the splats necessary to build up a huge lead, weather the specials coming in, and push them right back out.
Yeah, I will say crushing 20s, they did a great job of kind of not overreacting, because I feel like with a lot of teams, especially like newer lower level teams, that there's a sort of panic whenever you see the timer ticking down or the points ticking down, and you kind of get you're very desperate. I will say you're very desperate to stop that. But crushing 20s, they just didn't let that overwhelm them. They found the picks, they found the space, and it worked out really well for them in their favor. As Let That Sink In, now this is their counter pick, and I think, okay, yeah, I'm a little conflicted here because you want to pick a good leader map, right? That's A. But if you keep the leader, their crushing 20s is most likely going to stick with the pro with the missiles to kind of make that leader's life uncomfortable. So it's like, what would you go here?
you would go with tower control ship shape is what they're opting to go with. Try to give a little bit of range for their E leader to work with. But I'm assuming that those missiles, as you mentioned, are going to be coming right back out. It's quite often we see people use the Frozen Pro on this stage mode combo anyways, regardless of what they're going to be, what their opponent is going to be rolling out here. So this is going to be not much of a change coming from the side of Crushing 20s. I think they're more than happy to take the fight here as well. But, you know, it's this isn't a bad pick for your team either if you're let that sink in with the comp that you want to use, at the range you want to be putting on display. Probably using the crab as well, along with the Zukas that they've been using. And plus, they probably think like, okay, what are some fun Zipcaster lanes that we can use on this one? I'm not crazy enough to use Zipcaster, so I wouldn't know all the fun spots to use that. But I'm sure those are the things they took into consideration when figuring this out. Unless they didn't.
Yeah, that's entirely possible. But another thing I want to throw out there is we might see a switch over back to decav, because we did see them run it last set. Switch to decav to kind of have that safety blanket, but no, I'm proven wrong. Sticking with that brush for the Zipcaster from the other side, no comp changes as well. So both these teams just no, there's a switch up going to the Comets for the Kraken on tower. It makes sense. Other than that, no change on the other side.
That honestly, I think this is the we've seen this variant of the ink brush used on the stage mode combo a bit today as well, as we see the trade going out initially into the favor of, well, nobody, but two players going down from the side and let that sink in. So you're going to be seeing the missiles coming out right away with combination of the crab. So as everybody's running for their lives from the missiles, including the E-leader, there's a snot rocket sent right to your face that earns you a free trip back to your spawn.
I mean, yeah, and it did, and Crushing 20 is taking full advantage of this. You see the Pen just kind of, relaxing on tower, giving some pain, but the Zuka will shut that down. Was Kirby with a nice pick. Nathan staying alive, sliding from the left-hand side, gonna get a lot of damage off ton. Nice pick there, forcing back Adley once again. Adley looking for a pick. They're gonna go down. Tower, though, is still going forward. It's just Larry, living like Larry, not for long, as they're gonna go down. Second checkpoint will be reached and possibly broken with very little resistance from Crushing, from what that taking is gonna work out, actually.
I think we're done here. I think we might be done here. I mean, when you got the slosher at that spot, I mean, okay, maybe the push is over. Oh, why'd you just drop right into that? You had this, even your pin is like, really? You just left me here and we're still going? Oh, but yeah, they had such great position. They get to 4 remaining. Now, it's tower control ship shape, so there's no such thing as a lead here. And is that the end of the nonsense? Kind of. At least all the players are in front of let that sink in. But Crushing 20s had a great stage presence on the top right there. Opted to get a bit of a mercy showing there. Let me just dive bomb into the Kraken and allow this game to continue.
I mean, call it playing with your food if you might, because Crushing 20s, they have a massive lead, and let that Ticken has to get through both checkpoints, plus basically get the win, or get the goal if they want to win this game here. As Crushing 20s, they can, while not play passive, they can like let that Stinkin come to them. Unfortunately, Adley has a good shot, as you see, get a nice pick there, and the push will start out for let that sink in, but how long is the question here? Ooh, nice shot there from Adley. Maybe a little bit more. Cow on the flank is going to force them off of tower for now, and this might be the end of the push, but looks like I might be proven wrong, as let that sink in. They're still going.
A bit of a sitting duck on that shot there, and Adley punished it as they're able to clear the first checkpoint, which means, yes, there's 4 remaining. It's almost a tie game. The good news for Crushing 28 is that they've cleared all the checkpoints already. So really, for the next 2 minutes, the mindset is we just got to defend our little flat area by the second checkpoint, and we're good. But also, treat it like a Rainmaker. You never have the lead in Rainmaker. Keep pushing, keep the pressure onto the enemy team. get everything built up, and make sure that it's more difficult for them to get going. As Splat Kirby working in conjunction to trying to hold onto these Zukas for the right time. Sees Nathan in the alleyway, doesn't get them, but opts to get rid of the Slosher instead. So here we go. Can they get control? Can Nathan hold down that top right area right there? That's going to be key to shutting down this push.
I mean, yeah, we're going to see the wave breaker to kind of get them unstable. It's going to work. Splat and getting the pick. Hold on. This game is not over, like you said earlier. 10 points remaining. It's just Tao. They're not going to get it. And, yeah, I think you may have misjudged the game earlier, because let that sink in. They got the snowball, and they just ran through. I don't know. They just won the game.
Now, hold on just a second. I did say that they never had the lead, because that's not a thing that actually exists in tower control ship shape. Now, what I was alluding to is, if that Slosher just stayed up top there, what are they going to do about it? Like, they were literally just canceling everybody going up top. Instead, the Slosher said, nope, I don't want to be here anymore. I'm going to jump off the tower. And it's like, that's all right. I mean, you have a position to get the KO. Go get the KO. Don't let a team hang around on tower control shift, especially on their own counter pick, by the way, because nonsense like that can happen. And you saw the exact thing. You saw the gal get up top on that top right area and said, I'm just going to stay here and we're going to win because of it. And you guys have nothing you can do to stop me from being up top here. Game over. Match tied up at 1 apiece.
Yeah, and I think if you are crushing 20s, I think this is like a gut punch, because like you had that game, you let that sink in, get momentum, you let them stay in the game, and unfortunately that was your downfall. But we're going to a much more up tempo map mode, Rainmaker on Humpback. I think this is really good for both the dualies and both the dualies and the Slosher, so I'm not surprised.
Opting to go with a little bit of a faster stage and a faster mode right here. I wonder if they keep the E-leader, if they have something else they're gonna to roll with in this situation. And this is something where Crushing 20s just lost on. In fact, I believe they did counterpick this against the Goats in the Room, against the Carbon Roller, or maybe it was the Goats in the Room that picked this one. Memory is fuzzy. Let's just roll with that. Regardless, they did come off of a loss with this one, trying to exercise the demons on that, as the match is now tied once again at 1 apiece. Rainmaker at Humpback Pump Check. Are we going to see any changes coming out from either team?
That's one.
That is one.
That is two.
And that is definitely an E-leader going bye-bye.
I mean, it makes sense. This is one of Dynamo's best maps. You sit on window, you sit on bunker, you kind of get mid, and then Nathan switching over to that 52. I like it personally, but we're gonna see. It looks like Splat likes 52 even more, just going in for an immediate flank. Gonna get one, but looking for a Tao here. The 1v1, looking both of them just kind of dancing around each other, just taking it and running it, getting at least got some points on the board at the very least.
That is against the rules. A 1v1 in mid, you gotta fight that out. Objective be damned, you gotta determine who is the ultimate warrior in that one. You can't just grab the Rainmaker and run. Rightfully punished for that. A cowardly decision in a rare opportunity. The test of strength.
Well, maybe Tao would have just said, hey, I don't want the test of strength, I just want the win. They were not. They just didn't want it. They didn't want to test their strength. They wanted to win the game. And so far, they are still winning the game. And a nice snot rocket right there from the Crab. It's going to give Crushing 20s a lot more space with those missiles or with those strikes as well. But Larry going to drop in, get two to at least stall the Rainmaker for a little bit longer here and let that sink in. They have been having a really tough time of keeping mid, even though they do have Dynamo, even though they do have the brush here, they haven't really been able to get mid. It's been mostly purple this entire game.
They've at least been holding down the right checkpoint, which apparently is the only checkpoint you're legally allowed to go to. And when you don't pay attention to the opposite side of the map, you aren't going to realize that somebody's flanking around. Here comes the gal, surprising everybody, as everyone has to turn their attention away to deal with it. Does that mean anyone else is going to capitalize off of that attention gain? The answer is no. So a nice response by Crushing 20, shutting down the flank and immediately getting back control of mid as they've had, as you've noticed, Topic, basically the entire 2 minutes here. Although nobody's really done anything with the Rainmaker other than that awkward 1v1. This should be an opportunity here for Let That Sink In to at least start pushing up.
I mean, yeah, you see they have Larry at the top by the Rainmaker checkpoint, getting a nice pick there. They're going to have Cooler shooting as well. Zuka on the plat to kind of displace members alongside the Kraken, but the Pen, at the very least, getting the Rainmaker, making them look back for a second, giving their team at least a little bit of opportunity to get back in, but they're going to just pick it up and take it and get the checkpoint as well. Now, this part is very, very hard to push down. Pushing through this elbow, you need that Zuka. You're going to need something to kind of force your way through, because even with this crab just sitting up here, you guys got to wait for that to go out, or just die like that.
Sometimes you just die to a suction bomb. Regardless, that's going to be enough to reset the Rainmaker. Right back to the hands of Let That Sink In, as Splat Kirby can just get a splat from halfway across the planet with that Zuko strike coming out here. But now we're starting to look at low-scoring Rainmaker territory here, where maybe clearing that checkpoint is enough, because you're only got 2 minutes. You got less than 2 minutes to go, actually. You got both teams only touching the Rainmaker once over the course of this entire game. Only one checkpoint's been cleared and nothing else on top of that. So now you got to be thinking, is this going to be one of those defensive style of Rainmakers where the lowest score might actually be the one you feel comfortable with enough getting the dub with? And, well, opting to wait for the perfect opportunity. Now finally grabbing it yet again. And they're not going to have any specials to work with. That Kraken's about halfway there.
I mean, yeah, the strike's going to stall them out. Kraken is going to be there as well. And I believe once flanking is going to be Kirby. They're going to go down, 2 down for the side of Let That Sink In. Larry's kind of forced to, or Adley forced to sit in this corner and just wait and bide their time. Ton from mid, kind of flanking on that. The try at least collapse on it. Tau staying alive by the skin of their teeth, jumping out to at least save that Kraken, or not Kraken, save that Crab, which may be helpful, but for how long? Because Adley, they're just running it. Nathan, they're not going to get the pick. It's just going to be Ton left to try and stall this out. The members are going to be respawning once again. They're going to get a little bit more points on the board. 12 points remaining for Let That Sink In. They're all going to be wiped out. And if you're Crushing 20s, you have one opportunity. You have one more chance, really, to get to 11 points and to go all the way through plat, which is going to be a very, very tough challenge.
So what is the win condition here? You got the Rainmaker at the checkpoint. The only person that had a special ready to go has now been taken off of the board. And now you got to deal with everything else being thrown. All of the nonsense being chucked right at him.
The nonsense worked.
You know how it was critical, jokingly, of the 1v1 not being taken? That was the only time, other than at the very end, where Crushing 20s grabbed the Rainmaker. That was it. They grabbed it once in that awkward 1v1 and then grabbed it at the end when they had no choice but to pick it up. Other than that, on their own counter pick, they let that sink in, dominate the time of possession. It just seems like they didn't have a game plan as like, here's how we're going to start pushing up. Here's what the initiation special is going to be. Here, this is all going to play out. Instead, it just seemed like, let's just hope we get a bunch of splats and then work off of that. And they never got a bunch of splats.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It did kind of feel that way, where it's like it was disorganized, right? Like, I feel like solo queue a little bit, where it's like, okay, I'm going to get a pick and we're going to work from there. It felt like there wasn't a real cohesion, I will say. It more felt as if they were just trying to wing it and hope for the best. And unfortunately, it didn't work out for them. Let That Sink In kind of felt more cohesive. They kind of felt more as like a connected front against Crushing 20s. And unfortunately for Crushing 20s, your back's up against the wall now. You have to have a good counter pick, and you kind of have to make it so you kind of devalue what Let That Sink In's comp wants to do, whatever that comp may be.
Crushing 20s now with one more counter pick they get to make. And you go back to the huge lead they had in game 2 and the position that they just willingly gave up. And you start to think just like how different would this match have been just from a mental standpoint for Crushing 20s if they just closed out that. I mean, obviously they beat up 2-0, but you wonder if just letting that slip away bled into the discombobulation you saw offensively on that Rainmaker Humpback one. Now they're opting to go with Clam Blitz at the Museum as their final counter pick for this match.
I like this map mode personally, but I also think this is like a very choke point heavy map mode because you are kind of overly reliant on getting through the ramp, and both these teams are not going to let that ramp go really easily. So in my mind, I think for Crushing 20s, you're going to have to use those strikes from the ramp. You have to use that crab from mid to just bum rush it, basically. You have to like set up the plat in a way to where you can just have everyone chipped, and then you can just do like, oh, a splat bomb here, a suction bomb here, or if they maybe go back to the throw pro, you have a missile here, can just clear it out really easily for you.
Potential match-ending game here in the favor of Let That Sink In. We're going to the Clam Blitz at the Museum. The E-Leader comes back out, so the Humpback. By the way, good counter pick if you wanted to get rid of that E-Leader in the last one to force them into the Dynamo. But now they're back to the E-Leader. The non-scoped variant here. As we see, as is tradition, the opening flank by both gals of both teams to get this one going. And of course, as is tradition, neither flank works out. So both gals are just stuck in no man's land. Who's going to jump out first? And the answer is neither one of them. Splatnet opting to move forward, and then ultimately they go down. Let's check on their brother. They get eliminated, or I guess non-gender specific sibling, who ultimately gets taken care of as well. All right, we got that out of the way.
I mean,
nice flanks.
I mean, yeah, that's kind of what's expected sometimes, especially for gal. You have, or for like aggressive weapons, you have that possible aggressive front. Try to work out with that flank. We're going to see what they're able to do here. Strikes are going to come out as well, clearing out the plat, but you see that Zuka is at the ready to try to slow them down as soon as possible. Also, the leader, never mind, leader's going to go down, so that's going to be a very, very big help for Crushing 20s, and they're going to start the push here. Unfortunately, Ton's going to fall. They're able to score. The follow-up, though, is not going to be there. Tao has 3, but they're going to be caught out. They're going to be called out by the team, forced to go away and not pushed. So now you did all that to score 20 points, and you gave Let That Sink In a free power clamp. So was that really worth it?
No. It's you never want to be in that situation. But the good news is, if you're not going to get any value out of that push, at least don't get wiped out on top of it or surrender control of mid. So that's the good thing for Crushing 20s. That's not the push they wanted it, but they didn't end it in a horrible way to where they can at least keep knocking on that door, and maybe they'll eventually find their way in here as Ton Warrior is able to accomplish just that. Can their teammates jump in safely with the power clam? The answer is no. Now you're in a bad situation.
Larry, the Octobrush, just sat there, pressed ZR, and won, and it worked out really well for them. You can see, hold on, Tao in the back line. Hold on, what are they doing? They got the leader, but they're going to go down. So very unfortunate there. So now we're back to neutral here. Both these teams looking for a way in. You see the Zuka is going to be at the ready. Popkin, what is so funny?
You grab the clamp. No, Mom said it's your turn to grab the power clamp. No, where's our E-Leader? You grab the power clamp. All right, fine. I finally got it. But, well, we need the power clamp on the opposite side of the stage if we want to do something with it. And no, I'm not going to let the E-Leader sit in mid, because then they'll absolutely curb stomp us if they do that. Nice splat by the Sniper Rider. And now, this is your opportunity.
Okay.
You're crushing 20. You gotta go now. As they throw the clams up top, they'll pop the basket, probably get a little bit more out of it this time as well. Probably. Maybe. Topic, you there?
Maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah, I am here. Yeah.
Just so the answer was no. No, they did not. They did not get much out of it. Still, again ending this push with control mid.
Yeah, they're gonna keep control of mid. The game plan for Crushing 20s looks like death by 1,000 cuts. They're not getting a lot of points per push. They're just getting a lot of small pushes, and so far it's been working out. Just let that sink in on their back foot, not allowing them to get anything going here. You see Adley on that top right side just kind of put up some pressure from a very interesting angle here. The Kraken from Larry is gonna be able to get a pick. No, it's not. Ton standing alive and saying Adley, forcing him to jump out, jumping to the basket once again. A lot of pressure for Crushing 20's 2 members down for let that sink in. Ton's gonna go down. The scoring is happening. 39 points. Nathan with 2 more. They're gonna get those 2 and it's just gonna be the pen, but they're not gonna get those in. And Crushing 20's has blown this game wide open. So now let that sink in. Have a very funny number of points to score if they want to get anywhere close to the lead.
Well, they might go a little bit over that if math works out correctly into their favor, but they haven't accomplished much of anything at this point. It's going to be what can they do with these initiation specials. They got Kraken ready to go. They got Zuka all the way down here, but the Kraken gets eliminated before they can get that going. And they're going to need a lot more clams. Even if they get some splats right here, they're going to need to gather up a lot more clams. Basically just do this all in one push. They got the E-leader in control of mid, but mid isn't in control of let that sink in, as Nathan's able to get up and to draw some attention away as they gather up more and more clams. Finally, here comes the Kraken out. That's going to open up the door topic for them to try to get to the basket.
Yeah, just keeping the pen away is going to work out. Just getting some damage, not no picks. Is going to go out there. Tons trading with that Zuka. And you see, let that sink in. They're there. They're going to score one. A second Power Clam has hit the basket, but no follow-up is going to be there just yet. Larry is going to be. They're going to go down. No clams on the board. Kirby trying to just bum rush it. They're going to go down. So Crushing 20s is going to hold on. They're going to fend off, let that sink in. And if I am correct, if my math is good, they won with 6-7 points.
Well, they win. You know, a win is a win. And I didn't hit the end button in time, so you're going to awkwardly see me standing around with everybody else. But we're tied at 5 apiece. Crushing 20s, they never got the push they wanted until the very end. But credit where credit is due, they never surrendered control of mid. That was where it was all key. They were able to just keep the pressure on the enemy team, and even if they weren't getting a lot of points out of that, they were at least pushing everybody back, saying, okay, we're going to just rev back up in mid, build up some more resources, keep knocking on that door. Eventually we're going to slide on in and get the big push that we were looking for. So not a lot of value out of the pushes, yes, but it's how they ended all those pushes that worked out and kept them in a position to where they could eventually find that big push they were looking for.
Yeah, and during that game, I want to shout out Tao for just putting up a lot of pressure onto Adley and the leader, making sure that they just could not stay safe, making sure that they just could not, get set up and pick off their teammates one by one. So now we're going to game 5. This is let that sink in's counter pick, and I'm pretty sure that they cannot go to either Rainmaker or to TC, so they have to either run it.
It's the mode you most recently won on, so they can't go to Rainmaker.
Okay.
They go back to TC if they want.
Yeah, I think that with how well they came back on TC, I think they might want to go there or go to Rainmaker because of how how dominant their push was at the very end there. Maybe you can get the 1v1 part 2 and have them actually respect the 1v1. Who knows?
We're still waiting for the counter pick to come in. And just to remind you, the winner of this one will move on to grand finals to take on the GOAT in the room. And if it's let that sink in, we're going to have 2 really silly team names going up against each other. I guess Crushing 20s doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me either, but it at least sounds like a team name that should exist. And we're just waiting on that one more counter pick. By the way, thank you to Splatoon Tourney for the raid. I don't. Oh, it was a DivX actually that they're rating this from. You were casting out earlier today, weren't you?
Yep.
And
Yeah, I was casting the semifinals. I wonder how the finals went. I'm pretty sure it was I hope it was a really good set because both the teams were very, very strong. So I just hope it was a good set. That's all I wish.
Well, I hope you viewers enjoyed watching Div X action as you've now come all the way down to Division 5 action that you're going to be watching here as we are waiting very patiently for Let That Sink In to make their counter pick. Now, they did pick Tower Control Ship Shape, and they can go back to Tower Control if they want to. It's the most recent mode that you want on you can't go back to. So Rainmaker's off the board. They've lost in Splat Zones, although that was... actually, no, that wasn't super competitive. Crushing 20s kind of dominated that one. Flame Blitz didn't really work out. Obviously, you're going to want something that highlights the fact that you have the slightly or longer range weapon in the E-Leader. And maybe, you know, do you want to go with the Kraken brush or do you want to go with the Zipcaster brush? That's the options that they have to go with when as far as figuring out what they want to use going up against Crushing 20s. The pick is going to be Splat Zones at Hagglefish Market.
Okay, I was honestly, I was thinking they go Hagglefish Tower. I was half right. Now, this one, in my opinion, I've said this before. This is the vanilla ice cream of Splatoon 3. Like, it's not bad, but I'd much rather have something else than vanilla. Like, it works. It's a good base, but by itself, standalone, not all there. Not all there.
I like vanilla ice cream.
Yeah, see, that's fine. You can like vanilla ice cream. I'm just saying, it's a good base. You want to build on top of that.
I don't know. The older I get, the more I realize I don't want more. I'm good. I'm good with just boring. And Splat Zones Hagglefish is definitely the most boring that you can come up with. But if you are a team that likes to get your E-Leaders set up, that can watch the flanks that you know are going to be coming, if you want to get those Zipcasters going, or if you want to use Kraken as a way to displace the enemy team and force them to either back up to their canopy or abandon out to where those flanks are to where you can come up and attack them. There's a lot of different variants you can pull off here if you are let that sink in. The problem is Crushing 20s is probably, I mean, this is the one mode stage combo where they almost got a victory against let that goat sink in team that they went up against, but obviously couldn't hold on to it at the very end. Game 5, winner takes all here in losers finals.
Yeah, we're gonna see
coming out.
Okay, I like the decaf, that aggressive bubble. Nathan swapping back over to the Fro Pro. It makes sense. Displace that leader. I think that's gonna be Crushing 28's game plan, is make sure that Adley cannot do what they want to do. They've been doing a really great job of dealing with the other issues. The pressure of Adley has been doing so much here. Let that sink in, take a quick control of zone, but not for long. Splat and going straight for that pen, forcing them to jump out here. One are going to go down, two down to a flank from Tao, looking for the triple. Ton, though, following up on the distraction, and you see they are wasting no time, getting very, very far, very, very quickly.
Let that sink in, was really hoping that flank was going to work out in the opening. And when it didn't, oh boy, did it open up the doors for Crushing 20 to start crushing things. But now, breaking out of the lockout is Let That Sink In. And it comes down to, can this crab keep the push going for Crushing 20? The answer is, at least it's going to clear out the opening ways. Are we going to see an attack coming from the alleyways to try to take advantage of that? It looks like nobody is there initially, but still points being tucked away into the favor of Crushing 20.
Yeah, but Let That Sink In are going to start to gather all their forces to fight their way in. Larry trading out with Tao. One are going to go down, so no pen for Crushing 20s, forcing Nathan back, at least for now. Nice snipe there by Adley, getting him right out of midair, and this is a very dangerous spot for Crushing 20s. Adley can basically look at everybody and keep them at bay, keep them on the ground, keep them away. We're going to see how Crushing 20s is going to kind of break through that. They have the crab, they have the strikes, they have the cooler as well. They have these specials. Do they see Splat in, though? The missiles may have seen them. Yes, they do, to kind of force them into an awkward spot. 2 members down and let that sink in. Splat Kirby still alive, still looking for a way to fight, getting another one out before Nathan is going to get them down. Pushing forward is going to be them. Adley forced to back away. Larry with the help as well before going down as well. Very unfortunate there, and Crushing 20's really great turn of fate here, and now they're going to look to break through their penalty points.
I would love to give credit for Crushing 20's being able to coordinate their splat bomb usage. All right, you throw it exactly at the left. I'll throw it at the right on 3. 1, 2, 3, go. And we're going to go splat on top of it. But I'm more than willing to chop that up to just a coincidence that magically happened to work out. Or they're just that synergized to where their sub-specials are even in line. And if that keeps up, Crushing 20's is going to close this one out. Penalty points gone. Zone still working for them, but the splats are now starting to roll for Let That Sink In. How? What? That's not how physics works. Excuse me.
I'm pretty sure the splat roll dodges about 100 damage directly, so they lived on 20 HP. Splatted, able
Wait,
to.
what was that?
You know what? They split rolled off the block. It looked a little weird, but they did it, I think.
You can't keep explaining away with science topic. Eventually,
Yes,
somebody's got to get splatted somehow. And, well, while all that nonsense has seemed to have settled down, it looks like Let That Sink In has sunk in control of the zone. A lot of penalty points they got to chew through, though.
Yeah, a lot of penalty points. Time is still ticking, but good here. 2 members down for Crushing 20. That's a good start. You see, no one affecting Tower just yet. Tao just looking to get this pencil down. A bit of a laser pointer battle, forced to back away thanks to the crab from Tao. Just kind of making it short, making it so that they cannot just sit still here. Ton with the strikes coming out as well. Going to go pick on Kirby. Unfortunately, not hitting the shots until just now able to get the pick there, as Crushing 20's are going to keep fighting for zone here, but Spy getting a nice pick as well before going down. It's just going to be Larry is good. They're going to pop the bubble to try and stall out, but how long will that be? The teammate is going to be jumping in less than a minute to go left in this game. If you're Crushing 20's, you kind of find out you're good at breaking through here, but can you keep the zones? A question. You see both of them on the left-hand side, forcing them to jump away. Tao is still in there, going to get shut down here, and let that sink in, trying to let that sink in and get into the base, get into the zone, get into court, or get something. They're able to do it eventually, but how long will that last is the question.
30 seconds left to go. This definitely feels like a game 5. It feels like nobody's leaving anything. We're just throwing everything we got into the zone. But this gal has been flanking consistently, and they need to let one of these land if they want to get back into this one. But no, Todd Warrior shuts it down. All of those attempts at flanks, and every single one denied. Can the zone be flipped in the next 3 seconds? Here come the strikes to close it out. Crushing 20's crushes coming back down 2-1. They win 2 in a row to return to grand finals.
I mean, hey, they pinned their ears behind their head and just went to work. They caught out the flanks from Let That Sink In. They didn't let Adley shake them too much, and they just held on. Like we said, this felt like a game 5. Both these teams